It's the Book of Eli.
It's the Book of Eli show, live and direct from the LRT. Living Room Talk. We got interviews, music, celebrities, and many, many more.
Welcome back. It's the boy, the Book of Eli, on the Book of Eli show on the LRT Living Room Talk. Our special guest is in the building, Kev Dixon, also known as the original Captain Save A Hoe. The Captain Save Him is all a worldwide icon in the large part due to the landmark of 1993 song and video Captain Save A Hoe from E40 in the Click off the Mailman EP release on Sacred Records. Welcome to OG. Kev Dixon. What's going on, big brother?
Man, it's a pleasure. Appreciate you guys having me, man, for sure.
Thank you so much for giving us some of your time, man. I just want to get straight to it. When I discovered how close you are to my family, I was shocked. I was shocked. I had to get straight into it. I said, oh, word, you know what? So I was a youngster when y'all had at that time, you know what I'm saying? And it was dope to see the creative side. I'm trying to figure out, where did you get the cape from? Like, what was the motive? I just got to get to that part. And that was funny.
Right. No, so the concept was it was a black Superman. We needed a hero. We needed something, even going back to the concept, at that time, you got to think, gangster rap was killing the game. Snoop, NWA, Cube, like everybody's killing it, you know what I mean? So with that record, for us to even, think about doing that record as a single, it was just a process of making that record. So it's like when they made the record, I wasn't even at the studio when they made the record. 40 hit me. I was in Oakland and they were in Vallejo, so that's like a 45-minute drive, right?
Right.
So I was in Oakland and he didn't call me because this was the era of text, through beepers.
Way back.
He had hit me, then I hit him back, and then long story short, he was like, "Man, where you at?" And I was actually on my way to Vallejo because my mom lived pretty much across the street from the studio, in a sense.
Okay,
so
pretty convenient.
I was on my way. He was like, "Man, when you get here, come straight to the studio." So pulled up to the studio, went to the door, banged on the door. I believe, if my memory serves me right, it was 40 and Studio Tone, who Studio Tone produced the record. So they both opened the door and they both grabbed me and just rushed me. Everybody's at the studio. Be Legit, D-Shot, Sugar T, Muggsy, Cavio, like everybody's at the studio. And they rushed me past everybody and went straight to the vocal booth. I'm not knowing what's going on, right? But a lot of people not knowing, but after this interview, then they kind of know that. But I've always been like the life of the party.
Okay. So you're the party animal. Okay.
Right. So I'm the one who played jokes on everybody back then.
Okay.
So when they open the door and grab me, I'm thinking they mess with me, right? But they take me to the booth and they like, "Yo, we got this record. I just need you to just say, you'll do this for a girl and this and that for a girl." I was like, okay. So then they closed the vocal booth and then Tone counted me in.
So would you consider you the original gentleman in the game, like on like not like being a simp, but would you say you're the original person who created that? Like, I do anything for you, girl. I pay your bills. I got you. You know what I'm saying? Would you say you're the original doing that, or somewhere else?
Yeah, I'm gonna claim the original before Soulja Boy did. So much love to Soulja Boy.
You already know Soulja. Soulja, he will get on that. He will say, "Smart nigga, what you talking about?" Got you.
Yeah, Soulja Boy be having us on our toes, so love him for that.
And shout out to Soulja. Okay, so that being stated, I need to know right now, what motivated you to even want to be a part of the music industry? What gravitated you to say, you know what? Yeah, let's do this E40 thing, this movement with Sick With It Records. Like, what got to that point?
Well, even just to get into the music thing, it's just I've always loved music, just from my mom and my whole family, just playing music and just different stuff like that. And then just seeing, shows at a young age. And then even in high school, we heard this girl named Kim Allen put on a talent show. And then I had a group, and I was actually the lead singer of the group. and we did the
Okay.
talent show, and we did first place, right? But that wasn't the thing that hit me as far as the music business. Us winning the first place. What it was I was intrigued by Kim putting on this talent show, and it was so packed that people was outside they couldn't get in. I
Okay.
was stuck on that,
You
which
looking
was
to busy.
crazy.
You looking to busy.
Right.
For real,
So it's
for
like
real.
that's what I started, and then I started doing promoting shows, like doing comedy shows where places that nobody was doing stuff at. And then I
Mm.
mixed the comedy shows with strip clubs, with a strip show. So basically, you sitting there with the comedy show, then once it's
Right.
over, it turns into a whole little stripper thing.
Okay.
One side
Okay.
for the girls and one side for the guys.
Okay. Okay.
So that whole business, entertainment stuff was already there. Then with St. Charles, which is 40's uncle,
Hmm.
I used to bump into him all the time, and he used to, we used to joke around, mess around, and he had a distribution company, that's what Sick With It was distributed by
Nice.
at the beginning. And he
Okay.
used to always tell me, man, you should come work for me. But during that time, I'm promoting shows, but then my cousin Tim is in Oakland. Um, you still got me? Somebody was calling me.
No, we here. We here, baby. Go ahead. We here.
Okay. Yeah, so my cousin was in Oakland, he was in the streets getting money. So I got money in my pocket, so I'm like, work for you. I'm like, eh. So that was our little
You wasn't
running
feeling
joke,
that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
but I also, I love and respect, people. So, and I love a challenge. So I was like, okay, cool. What you got going? So he was telling me what was going on. I came to his house, sat down, took a meeting, and then I was like, I'm in. And then
Mm.
that's what really started the real music business, from the standpoint of we built our own retail list. We had COD before anybody else did. And that's what a lot of people
Mm.
don't understand in this industry. It's like we had to, people had to wait 120 days to get paid when you put out something. But even after that
Wow.
120 days, the
Damn.
distribution companies would hit you with this sell through. Oh, well, we didn't sell all the stuff, so we still, but we reordered, so you got to put some more product in the
Right.
system. We
Yeah.
didn't have to wait for that. We had COD. As
Mm.
soon as I went and dropped it off to them, they cut me a check, and then I brought it back. And
Damn.
but building a retail list was crazy because I used to go to the library every day and pull out the yellow pages,
Okay.
and I used to write down from every state, all the record stores address. And then
Mm.
what we would do is create a one sheet, and we do bulk mailers with a snippet tape. And
Smart.
that's how we started creating
Smart.
pre-orders.
Smart.
So yeah, so that was the beginning of the whole, like really the push into the music business.
So, who would you say has been your most fondest moments, like the moments that you just cherish for the rest of your life? That memory, that moment that when you first started, like, yo, I remember I first got my first 100 grand or whatever. What was that? What would that be for you that you cannot never forget?
Wow, that's crazy. That is a great question. That is it's I can't honestly say it's one,
Okay.
because like
Or
one
pick
was
one out of the 1,000. That's cool. Pick one of them, whatever.
I have to give you two,
Okay, let's
and
do it.
it makes sense why. Number one was when I first got us on the radio.
Okay.
That was a moment. Um, I'm pushing that radio, trying to get them to play the record, which was tired of being stepped on. Uh,
Mm.
the clicks, the clicks record with, 40, D Shot, Be Legit, Sugar T. Like tired of being stepped on was one of those records,
Mm.
and I finally got it on the radio. And
Okay.
then that was a big moment because I came to the studio and everybody was there, and then it came on the radio, so we was excited. The second one is me as an artist with Ant Banks and Too Short and Rapper Forte with and Mac Ball with the Players Holiday, the Lovely Day joint that we did. We
Mm.
redid Bill Withers' Lovely Day and called it Players Holiday. So just recording with, the icons, Ant Banks and Too Short,
Right.
and just that whole process of us making that record, and that record really from New Jersey to California. So I have to say that those two are just, you know, big standouts.
Well, it sounds like a prominent moment in your life, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
so that being stated, what is something that you feel like, let me go back this way. Sick With It Records. Who came up with that name? Because honestly, that name still sounds like it holds weights to this day, meaning it sounds like it would still fly to this day. It don't sound like it's an old name or nothing. Like, it sounds good. Like, you know,
Right.
who came with that, and what was the motivation behind that? How do y'all come with that record label?
So with Sick With It Records, which I can't take any credit for that.
Oh,
That
okay.
was actually, the credit goes to D-Shot.
Okay.
D-Shot came up with Sick With It Records.
Okay.
And then, you know, him and 40, you know, put it together, and, you know, honestly, got to say the rest is history. And, you know, D-Shot and 40, of course, is brothers. So that's
Okay,
where
that
that.
makes sense. Okay. So how did you get with those brothers? How did you originally get with them?
Originally, just actually, you know, to be honest, from the streets. And then, you know, we bumped into each other. And
Okay.
then I was doing so much, you know, promoting, just doing stuff, and they were doing their thing. And D-Shot used to own a clothing store,
Okay.
which was next door to where the studio eventually was. And I used to come in there all the time. And, you know, me and Shot always, you know, hit it off from day one. And same with 40. So then they was like, yo, you know, we pushing these records, we were trying to do this and that. So when I talked to St. Charles, which is their uncle, he was trying to get me to help push their records, you know, from the marketing side and promo side, because he knew that I was doing all these shows.
Right.
And so that's how we ended up linking, for me to do, you know, all the marketing and stuff for their records. And that's when we started doing, you know, the stuff with the one sheets and creating that retail list. And every 40s record, D-Shot record, Sugar T record, Selly Cell record, we all shipped, you know, the pre-orders were at least 10,000. And then when the Mailman, which had Captain Save A Hoe on it, our pre-orders were over 50,000. And this is independent money.
Damn. So but is it true that the independent money was a lot more of a grind back then, and it was, you feel more confident because you earned it, or do you feel like it's more easier now to y'all compared to two?
It's you know, on one hand you could say it's apples and oranges, because back in the day, of course, it was hard because we didn't have a major label system. So everything we did, we had to create it out of air, in a sense. Just think, even from them musically, they had to create, you know, out of air, but then to even get it in stores, not only just locally, but around the country, you know what I mean? It's trying to figure that out, because remember, there was no internet. There was none of that. You know, this is all phones.
Not even MySpace.
Right. There was none of that. Zero. It was
Gotcha.
just all on the phone, and actually networking in person, going to these different music conventions and trying to get people's business cards and phone numbers written down on napkins and papers, and then go back to your city or whatever, making phone calls and then putting stuff in the mail.
Right.
Now, you know, I can put out a record as soon as I hang up with you. You know what I'm saying? On my phone.
It's easy to drop off, right? It's easy to just,
you see what I'm saying? So
so that being stated, real quick, I got to go into this real quick. Who's the blueprint of the business structure you guys kind of emulated, or was inspired by growing up in the music business, grinding independently? Who are some of the people that you guys emulated or inspired by?
Honestly, as far as what we created at that time, there was no blueprint of what we did. And if there's anything close to it, we have to say Easy E and Luke. But that's still, you know, on that, you know, it was just, it's still, there was nothing in front of us. So that's why we had to figure it out.
So what about Tone and Tony Harmon and Chaz? Like, how did y'all come to fruition and get acquainted and stuff like that?
Right. So the whole jive record system,
Mm.
Chaz and Tone was already in that system because they had Spice One.
Right. Right.
Spice One selling millions of records every time he put out. So they were already in the Jive system. So when it came time to when labels was courting 40, every label wanted 40, from Suge Knight to Russell Simmons to everybody. But
Mm.
Chaz was there, and Chaz was like, yo, we need to, kind of like, let's talk to Jive. Come over to Jive. Let me show you what we can do over there. And
Right.
Jive actually, pretty much won. And that's how that whole thing started with CHM was Chaz Hayes' management with Chaz and Tone.
Okay.
And so soon as 40 signed his first deal in 93, 94, I believe, it was 3.5 million then. That was the first deal.
God
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah. So
That's what's up.
That's credit. Not only that's credit definitely to 40, to St. Charles, to myself, in terms of everything that we were doing independent, but then it's credit to 40 for structuring the deal,
Right.
with Chaz and Tone, for structuring that deal. Because his deal was set up like he was still independent.
Mm.
So
Okay.
it's like first certain amount of records were still treated as independent and he gets paid out that way, and then it clicks into the deal. So he
Okay.
had a hell of a deal.
So a couple more questions. I'm going to be done. I want to know, when it comes to Too Short, E40, and Master P, these three right there, those giants. How was it working with them? And give me one short story that you can put in for each one of them or together
Okay.
about them. I'm curious to know the Kev meet Too Short, the Kev met E40, the Kev with
Right.
Master P, whatever y'all did. Give me one dope memory that you could talk about those interactions.
Look, I got to take my hat off for this because this is real love. um,
Let's do it.
no, well, definitely with 40, I got to start with 40 because that's where it started from.
Okay.
With the Captain Save A Hoe thing and everything, and running the label. 40, it's so many because it's like when we did the 500 remix, took 40 to the studio, and he got so lit that leaving the studio, he hanging out the window and just he just partying, right? And it, it's so many memories with 40, even just doing it was just day to day because it was more than just the label thing. It's like we're really family, like brothers. Like I'm literally at the house going to go take care of bills, at the office, doing stuff at the office, taking him to radio, doing just different stuff. So I was label, personal management, road management, like radio, promotions, like I was everything, during that time. And then so I said so many with 40, even still to this day, of course. Then we moved, and then I'm gonna go to Master P. So the crazy thing is, yeah,
Nah.
P, my brother, yeah. So P was in the Bay, so P
Okay.
was trying to do his thing in the Bay. So P hooked up with us when as far as like with 40's Uncle St. Charles. So we
Okay.
were doing the distribution on his records as well too.
Okay.
But so 40 had an office across the street from his Uncle St. Charles. So that's what Sick With It Records we set up shop. So when P would go over there to talk to his uncle, he would come to Sick With It, and he would talk to me about trying to get 40 on the record. They trying to, at that time, but nobody really wanted to fool with P at that time. I'm giving it to you raw.
Why not?
Nobody wants to fool with, because he wasn't the Master P everybody knows now.
Okay, got it.
So the records wasn't coming out
He's a
that
regular.
hot.
He's a regular dude on the block.
Right, but his records wasn't coming out that hot. That's why a lot of people didn't want to work with him.
Okay.
So the funny thing is, every time he would come over to the office, and he's like, "Yo, man, I want to get with E." So I would call 40 at home,
Right.
And like E, and 40 pick up, hey, what's going on? And I'd be like, hey, what's going on, E? Be like, hold on. And I just hand P the phone. And P get, hey, what's up, E, man? Trying to get the record. What, all this. So then 40 be like, yeah, okay, we're gonna hook it up. Then he said, get Kev the phone. And as soon as I get the phone, he be like, I'm gonna kick your ass when I see you. Joking at me, I'm gonna get you when I see you. So and then so moving along, I had a deal at Priority Records at the same time P had.
Okay. Priority.
So
Okay.
one day I'm up there to pick up a check for like $30,000. And I'm messing with the chicks up there who work up there. So the elevator opens and P gets out and it's him and his crew.
Right.
So when he gets out, he like, Ken, what you doing here? So he every time P sees me, he always grab me and like put me in like a little headlock.
Like a little
right?
brother headline.
Yeah. So he like, what you doing up here, man? I'm like, I'm trying to get me a check. He like, okay, me too. So they had gave P an office up there. So he went in his office. So I go in his office because I'm waiting for the dude from the lawyer to bring me the check. So I've been there an hour. I go to P's office. The lawyer walks into the office and hands P his check. And I'm like, really? And he like, Ken, I'm sorry, I apologize. I'm like, okay, that's how it is. So he goes get my check. So he shows me his check while I'm waiting for mine.
Nice.
And I mean, the zeros went from California to New York.
Yeah.
They gave him like a $9 million check.
$9 million?
Right? Yeah.
Damn.
He was eating at Priority.
I guess that's what Snoop Dogg be talking about. Like, P had the money from the beginning, it sounds like.
Oh, my God, yes.
Yeah, so that's real then.
They brought me my check, and then I popped my check open. I showed P the check. I'm like, yo, check that out, Say, go and cash that. So he started cracking up like, because I already know you got that in your pocket. Go and cash that check.
Right.
But he always loved me around because I was like his validation to a lot of stuff that he did in the Bay that a lot of the cats from New Orleans didn't know. So he like, Ken, tell him about this. Yeah. Nia Long had you she running around in the daylight with a flashlight trying to find you.
Get out of here.
Nia
oh my God,
yeah.
Nia the one.
Yeah, I'm telling,
Yeah,
so,
man,
but
we got the real scoop.
But
Thank you.
Right. So it just like I said, so many with him. Even this whole thing with Suge Knight, like it's just some cool stuff. And then with Too Short, my dog.
Okay,
man, Short, such a legend, and it just was such a privilege to work with Short on so many shits. So when we did Players Holiday, me and Banks flew to Atlanta, to get with Short, to get Short on the record. Nice. And just hanging out with Short's like the mayor of Oakland, Atlanta, everywhere he goes, he's like the mayor. We go to a club, we go to the mall, we at his house chilling in the studio recording, and he get a phone call, and then he like, oh, we gotta jump up and run out the house. And he forgot he got a show. It's a big summer jam in Atlanta. We go to the summer jam. Lil Jon's on stage, and then as soon as we walk up, Short come out, they go crazy. I remember one time we're in LA and I'm standing out in front of the hotel and Short pulled up. He's trying to go in the hotel for a minute. He was like, Kid, he's like, I'm gonna be right back. So he came back out. He was like, Kid, what you finna do? I was like, I don't even remember what I was finna do, but he was on his way to the studio, one of the studios in LA. And I was like, man, I can't wait to get on one of your records. So he's like, come on. Damn. Just that easy. That's it. Studio, got on the record. So I ended up getting on like 3 of Short's records. So I have like 1 platinum and 2 golds from being on the records with Short. Damn. Just straight love. Just like, come on. Let's make it happen.
When people say platinum, and so for the younger audience that's going to be watching, when you say gold and platinum, right? Do you still eat off of that to this day, or it's old money now? It's not there no more, or you still can eat off of that to those that don't know?
Yeah, I mean, off the gold and platinums and stuff, which is 1.5 million records sold at that time.
Right.
It's sold more since then, of course.
Right.
But yeah, if your publishing is plugged in right, yeah, you're still getting some publishing off of that, whether it's off of the mechanicals or whatever you did on the record,
Mm.
and then especially into streaming now. So
Okay.
that's what a lot of that whole streaming wars with the labels and the artists, is because, once you switched over to streaming, a lot of labels was like, well, in your contract you signed way back, that was before streaming. So
Mm.
why should you get some of that money?
Right.
So
Exactly.
it's like a lot of, crazy stuff like that. Because it even spilt over into television and film the same way.
And one last thing, Ice Cube, we can't leave the big homie. I
Yeah,
interviewed him a few years back, and when
yes,
I found out you work with him to this day, what is
yes.
it like working with Cube to this day? From back then to now, what is the business acumen looking like? How focused you think he is compared to the beginning to now, to your opinion?
You know what's so crazy? I was just telling Max Shine, which is my client, which is my I manage Max Shine, and he's like the business partner as well.
Okay.
Uh Max Shine is signed to Snoop Dogg. He has been signed to Snoop for years. Um, but where Snoop get all the fashizi and all the everything that comes from Max Shine,
Okay.
right? Snoop even been on record to saying it. But
Okay.
so Max Shine and Cube is cousin as well as 40. But the thing I was telling Max Shine that I love about Cube and what's so dope about him is when Cube is in movie mode,
Mm.
he's in movie mode. That's all you get in this movie. He
Mm.
not entertaining, nothing else.
So it's
When
like
he
tunnel vision? It's like tunnel vision or
yes,
something? Okay.
yes.
Okay.
When he in big three mode, his basketball league is not it's just tunnel vision.
Got
The
you.
same thing, just how he did with his album, with the rap album, Tunnel Vision. It's just
Mm.
all music,
Okay.
related. And it's so dope to see at that high level. It's so dope and inspiring to see how real men handle business
Right.
and continue to grow those at those levels.
Right.
Even, with Too Short, you think of Too Short, but Too Short was so business at the studios where he would pop open a briefcase and pull out different um, writing pads and be like, pull up reel 3 and put it at the part 3310, and then he'd do
Mm.
go rap his verse and then come out. Okay, pull up reel 32 and then go to part like business.
Right.
Like,
Right.
the same with 40, business to transition with the addition from music to the liquor business and the food business. It's
Mm.
just business, you know what I'm saying? So it's just dope to see all of them, 40P, Short, Q, like just,
Even
and just to
Spice
be in
One.
that circle.
Even Spice One.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Even Spice.
Hell yeah. Spice too. And it's so crazy with Spice. Um, One funny memory with Spice is he had just bought a brand new house, and I pulled up, and I think Rap City or somebody was coming that day, and his little son, he had white carpet throughout the house.
Okay.
He got dope lowrider in the driveway. I think he had the 850. He got all kind of shit in the driveway, right? So I go in the house, take my shoes off, dude,
Right.
and they coming in trying to set up, for the interview. Dude, his son come running in the room with a cup with red Kool-Aid and falls.
Oh
It just
man.
splattered all over the white carpet. Dude, I always tripped on that. I was like, dude, what is the
He
odds that I'm
said,
gonna be
not
here?
today, buddy.
Right. That was just funny. But yeah, man, that's all them dudes, man, is family, real business.
So to those that want to follow up with you, what do you have personally coming up that people should look forward to or look out for that's important to you?
Okay, what I have coming up is I have a project. It's called Peep Show.
Hmm.
It's gonna be um it's an album, it's a movie, it's a podcast, it's
Mm.
the only fan version of it.
Okay.
Um that's one thing. Then I have my company, which I've been owning Machiavelli Records for since 2000.
What do you mean by you
Right.
owning Machiavelli Records? I'm confused. That's Pac stuff, if I'm not mistaken.
Right, right. So I started Machiavelli Records um, in '97, and then I was doing more than just records for everybody. That I changed it and I called it the Machiavelli Group, but I incorporated in 2000.
Mm,
Right. So I actually went through the whole thing of, rest in peace, talking to his mom, and shout out to Money B and Money B's dad.
mm,
Money B's dad and Pac's mom were best friends, and he was my advocate of, relaying the message and relaying me as a person to Afeni about, because I didn't have to go get clearance to do the whole Machiavelli, but out of love and respect, that's what I was doing.
what you doing
Nah.
so for those that's big Pac fans like I am, I'm a huge Pac fan.
Oh yeah,
So
yes.
would you say you doing the Machiavelli as a tribute, or it has nothing to do with Pac at all? What is your reasoning?
It wasn't. It wasn't. It was a tribute as far as, yes, me personally. I'm
Okay,
finna do
okay,
this label, and I'm finna do these artists, and we finna really just have a brand out there like these other brands that I helped build.
okay,
We finna start this brand in the name of and in the spirit of Pac,
okay.
right? So
Is the Outlaws
that's
going to
what it
be a
was
part of
originally.
that or no?
Say it again.
Is the Outlaws going to be a part of that or no?
No,
Okay,
no, it was all new artists and everything. And then
okay.
even with Money B's dad, even rest in peace to Geronimo Pratt, he embraced it and he wanted me to have it. They wanted the One Nation Foundation
Mm,
nonprofit. They wanted that to be the nonprofit attached to the actual label to the company.
nice.
Like it had got to that point.
Okay.
But I was doing stuff for everybody else that I kind of kept putting it on the back burner because I was just, waiting to set up everything right. And I just never really got back to it. And
Mm.
like I said, I started doing so much for everybody else. Then I changed it to the Machiavelli Group, management, production, like everything. And
So for artists, real quick, because we are running out of time shortly, but I need to ask this for artists that's new that want to get in hold of you. How could they impress you? How can they get you to say, "Yo, I want to talk to him"? Like, how would someone get someone like you to be like, "I want to hear your music or your vision"? How can someone get to you?
I'm gonna tell them a couple of ways. One, they can contact you.
Say less.
Okay. And
The
yeah, they can contact you.
Book of Eli, y'all already know. You heard it from the
Yeah,
OG.
yeah, it's family. Just contact you and we'll run it. Outside of that, I'm on Instagram,
Hmm.
official Captain Save A
Hmm.
Hoe. I mean, yeah, yeah. Let's just make it happen.
That's
Let's
it.
go like that.
So looking back, y'all, man, thank you so much for your time, big brother. I appreciate you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you for
yeah.
the stories, the moments. I definitely enjoyed talking with you. Yo, everyone out there, make sure you tune in, stay tuned, lock in, understand what's going down. This is a legendary moment. We heard some good stories today. God bless. Peace. It's the Boogie Live, LRT. One.